Let's see if it still starts, hopefully. Oh, come on. Oh. For those who are just joining, we are restoring this rather neglected TT.
How do you put this thing in reverse?
And how can I put this? Like all projects, it hasn't come without its fair share of problems. And that smoke you're seeing, that's what we're tackling today. It's completely untampered with, and I love that. So, sit back and unwind as we restore this classic.
We're only on day 2 of the repair, and I'd say it's gone pretty well. I mean, look at this, look where we're at. It looked absolutely dreadful, and it didn't move, and we hadn't even seen it run. Whereas now, it's looking pretty smart. I'm actually proud to have this car sitting on the driveway. This one has the rear spoiler. Not all Audi TTs came with the spoiler, and that actually introduced quite an issue. At speed, some of the Audis lost control. So Audi did a recall where they actually ended up sending out rear spoilers to people to attach themselves. They introduced an active spoiler on the Mark IIs that come up automatically at about 75 miles an hour.
It would suck if you get caught on a speed camera with that up.
Look how it's cleaned up. Bit of lacquer peel there, not too much. The alloys already look pretty good. We could give them a bit of a refurb too. You know when you stand next to a car and you feel either it's a bit of a jalopy or it's something that's actually pretty robust and it's going to be a decent find. This feels like one of those decent finds, worth every hour. I'm not sure whether my wife would agree. She'll get to enjoy it when we take a road trip. Oh, it is starting to rain. I'm not going to let that stop me. Now we're going to move on to the smoking issue. If we can solve that, I think this car would probably pass a MOT test.
So, fueled with optimism, let's crack open the hood and get it fixed.
If I was to place a guess, then I would say that given that this pit here has just been plonked down and someone's tried to fix it with tape, that's going to have some form of impact. Now I'm going to replace these and see if that makes any difference. We'd have like a fully functioning car, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We're going to work out where this pipe actually came from. Hopefully this part's good. This is my boy Jacob, of which I'm very proud because he's able to say car. You say car? Oh, you've got your popper.
Well, perhaps understandably, he'd rather play a game of Daddy Fetch It.
This is the engine, isn't it?
Okay.
Look, that's the battery.
Papa.
Well, that's the dipstick for the oil. You're just checking the oil level. We need to give that a clean though to check it properly. No. Right, let's put that back in there. Okay.
So, now that we have the head mechanic's approval,
Let's start by removing some of these guards. Good, that's quite straightforward. All right, let's see how brittle these are. It's completely broken. How the bloody hell do you remove this thing? Oh, my legs. I'm a bit battered and bruised now, but I've managed to successfully replace the entire breathing tube system. I'm gonna give the car a start and see if that makes any difference. I pray that this car will come to life, not literally. Oh, it's a bit concerning. Oh yeah, of course. The fuel injection lines. Take 2.
it was time to see whether our work had paid off. And for a moment, there was a reprieve.
Are you kidding me?
But that moment faded fast.
I think we can well and truly say that the smoking issue on this car is not fixed.
And in that sigh of desperation, reality hit. All that smoke could mark the end of this Audi. And to make matters worse, the heavens opened. The rain that had threatened all day had finally come. And when it did, it came with intent. There was no choice other than to down tools and just back away. So while we take refuge from this rain that seems quite relentless, I thought it was the perfect moment to take a coffee break with a custard cream biscuit, a British invention from 1908, inspired by Victorian architecture with the layers and the design. Best thing about a cup of tea and biscuits is you can dip your biscuit, and dipping is amazing. Let me know in the comments if you dip your biscuits around the world. Who put that there? That's ridiculous. You can't put that there. Look at what I'm looking at here. Bloody, who said, was that a viewer that sent that in? We can't have that up. That is a ridiculous pair of TTs. How did I not notice that? We've got to keep it clean. That's not what this show's about. I mean, it's always nice to see a pair of classic TTs, but hers are a bit more modern and angular. Hopefully I don't get distracted, but whilst I'm here, you'll see that the breather tubes that we've replaced, if you have a look down here, I'll show you, they certainly needed replacement because they are so brittle and they've broken, and the previous owners tried to repair it with tape. But you'll see inside that they are very gunked up, so brittle they just keep breaking everywhere. I'm certain they needed replacement, and actually it's fixed the hunting issue with the idle, so I'm quite pleased with that. Unfortunately, I don't believe it's necessarily going to fix the actual smoking issue because it might be the turbo, which is hours of work to get that sorted. But if the rain stops, then we can get on with this. I don't care if it takes me a little while because the car looks so great. I'm just going to keep getting distracted. So where are we up to? We've spent £350 on the car. We've spent £70 to get it trailered, 10p on that clip, £10 for these PCV tubes. That's a grand total of £430 and 10 pence. Not so bad. But anyway, that all depends on whether this smoke issue is resolved, and I don't hold out much hope for that. But the only way we can tell is if we let the car run and we can somehow take it for a run to burn off any oil that might have been poured through to the exhaust prior to our repair. And we have to take this down because that's not acceptable for our workshop. Whilst everything's soaking wet outside, I thought I would have a look at the interior. It's a very pleasant place to be with the brushed aluminium finish. The radio saying safe mode. Oh look, Audi concert sound system. Operating instructions. There's a code, 1454. I wonder how many people use that as their PIN number. Press the scan and RDS button at the same time, then release both buttons. Do not press the scan or RDS button. Okay. Ugh. You will only have one more attempt to repeat the procedure. Let's hold that down. Okay. Enter the code. Steve. Steve! Yeah.
In the car or in the house?
Do you want to sit in? I'm a bit nervous about this. One of my least favourite things.
Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Ready for episode 4, free on YouTube.